I'm sorry, man. Yeah, man. It's what? It's again, I'm not. Yeah, man. Shalom, Israel. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Bringing the kid up somewhere. I.S.U.P.K today is run by Commanding General Yahanna. Man with the rank and the authority to be our leader. We are the leader of the nation of the Israelites. Want to say Yahweh Basham Yahushai Barakatam to my brothers. Yahweh Shamari Latan Basham Yahushai to my sisters. Alright, welcome once more, UPK Jamaica. Today we're talking about baptism. What is baptism? Baptism. If you were to define baptism, what would you say, please?
To make somebody clean.
Okay, so in a beard baptized.
No, that's the technical, not necessarily purified clean.
All right, then I'm now forced to ask you what you mean by clean.
All right, so now, one example of clean is like the stop sin. They stop some things so that now they have to sin.
All right, so you're sure the word you want to use would be clean?
Yeah.
That sounds more like change.
Change, yeah.
All right. How would you, well, you want to give a, I think it is. Well. Yeah, you said can.
They change from living wrong. They doing change from living unlawful and living by the wrong. And become
the change. Come again, the change from what?
Change from east side and go to the north side and become poor, become separate.
All right. Would you have an explanation, please? I'll give it a try. I'll give it a try. Nothing is wrong if you're wrong, you know. I mean, when the class finishes, then you should not be wrong. In your definition. One?
What is our story? The child in which you change.
The trial that you would have gone through to make
change.
Explain the change.
Yeah, the most style in the past, they want the right thing also. They don't know if they have started the right thing, they come to that attention and child.
All right, if you look in the Xander one, you see a long episode about baptism, and it would still tell you that it's obscure. But basically, it's cleansing. But what are you cleansing? What are cleansing?
Cleansing sin. Sin.
All right. Cleansing sin. All right. Go a little deeper than that. Yeah. All right. That's basically the same thing. Unlawful acts are sinning, is sinning. What would you say are cleansing? Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Just shedding off the old stuff. It's the person that we most probably does is to be free.
All right. That's good. Yeah. You are on to that. Because that is what you want to get into. The human that you're trying to bring forth. You're covering the UPK, your Canada one can, are you the same person since you come in? But if they take a fingerprint and everything, it's still you, don't. But you're a new man. Or in the process of becoming a new man. Right. So this process that you go through, your answers weren't wrong. I just said, give me some more. The process that you are going through is the baptism, right? So Christ have a difficult time explaining to, especially Nicodemus, and to others, and even today, it's kind of difficult explaining to people. And the problem comes from the water baptism from the Christian church. Because people say, they who me baptize and pastor tell me say me a new man and me still desire the same things them that I used to desire before. That is why in here you say you baptize a woman and come over what? Oh, wait, oh, because there's no shedding of the old man. All right, let's just go take baptism a little further back from the time of Moses. Let's look at Moses' first encounter with the Moses. Exodus 3:1-10. First man find it read.
Exodus chapter 3, verse 1 to 10, verse 1. Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert and came to the mountain of God, even to Horeb. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed.
All right, so what does that have to do with Moses and anything? All right, read on.
Verse 3, and Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burned. And when the Lord saw that he turned aside to see, God called unto him out of the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here am I.
All right, so the burning bush was what? Was it to change him? Was the burning bush purpose to change Moses? Think about it.
My opinion, flattered.
Alright, yeah, you are Django.
Yeah, this is something like that. It must change up. Like, just the experience alone. You have to push a burden down.
Alright. Alright. Well.
Okay, the burning bush in that scenario was to really point the attention, draw the attention, and then so when the attention is not drawn, it's most likely that gather the attention and speak to her.
Alright, you said con. What you are worried about to say now?
Yes.
You're about to say something?
Yes, sir. Sir, the burning bush, sir, we got out the feeling.
What kind of one did say?
We have a different kind of explanation.
You didn't know that to answer, man.
So the burning bush, sir, will show Moses that the most I want to be closer to you, sir. To teach him, to shape to be a better person, to lead his nation.
How did you get in the truth? Yes.
Like I said, when I get in the truth, I got in the truth and I hit rock bottom.
How did you get in the truth? Alright, let me ask it another way. What draw your attention to the truth?
When you see General Yana, one the video,
So it was a video of General Yohanna cursing out some white people.
Yeah. And saying some real things that resonate like the children I used to.
So what was happening in your life at the time that caused you to see that and make it resonate?
At the time still,
Mm-hmm.
when I struggled still.
The struggle. All right. What was it that pulled you to got your attention to the truth?
Me, that's around my community, so we learn something what I never knew before.
Yeah, I just want to learn on the phone.
What draw me to the truth?
Yeah. What got your attention to look at the truth?
The way all the other people treat our nation. The truth is all for us, us other people.
The way we are being treated by the other nation.
Yes,
and what?
And the truth is for us. Because the other nations, them deal with us.
All right, let me ask you a question. Okay. What was it that Moses going about in business? And look at him say, a bush a burn. And if the bush, him see fire at the bush, but the bush not burn. He said, what are this? Let me go and see what this is. What was it in your life that make you look and say, let me go and see what this is? I.S.U.P.K had one say, it was a video from General Mayaman, sister, General Yohanna. Yeah, General Yohanna, yes. And you say what? It was what?
Because we know other people cheat our people, so by watching the class,
yeah, but you never know about the class to watch no class.
Yeah. But you know me,
all right, so this is the first night when you saw me.
Yeah.
Right. So in other words, I was the burning bush to you.
Yes.
General Yohanna was the burning bush to Chupa. The kid rock bottom, and if I remember clearly, for me, well, yeah, rock bottom, yes, when I was searching And then I saw Captain Mashak blazing. And a night that I was sleeping, and this video keep popping up. About 3 or 4 times, I said, at the first time, I said, man, that looks so awesome. Second time, it come up. Third time, now we start to, hold on. Same video pop up again for the third time. Let me see what it is. And then I say, so, go on again. Play a different video, then we see that one pop up. It's alright, it's only pop up so much time, let me see what it is. And I play it. And I tell her, that night, about in the 11 o'clock, getting ready to go to bed, after playing Captain Marshall video, I went to bed like something about 2, 3 o'clock. I was sleepy when I first saw it, and by that time, it's like him knock out the sleep. Say, jump up and say, yes, man! I hit this. So, the thing that pull you, that's like a burning bush. The most I use that attention to draw Moses. Obviously, Moses had a little scientific mind too. Because someone else would have seen it and we not over there. Don't. They would fear. Or they would say, somebody who's really just minded might bow down to it and say, this is God. But Moses was scientific minded. Moses said, let me go and see what is happening here. Right? And by him going over there, getting baptism, read on.
Verse 5. And he said, draw not nigh hither, put off thy shoes from thy feet, for the place whereon thou standest is holy ground.
All right, what do you mean by that? Is he saying that the dirt that you are there now standing on is holy? What do you think he means?
Alright, it's holy ground, meaning that he is not, it's a separate thing, it's a different level that he's taught on.
He's going to take him to. And that, I remember what holy means? It means what? Separate. So it only means separate. I'm standing here and I go over there. What so much separate? Understand? So it couldn't be talking about the physical ground. The angel was saying to Moses, I'm going to now take you to a higher level, a separate level from where you are. You see, that shoes you take off now, is like what?
Burden.
No, not burden. Thank you. When you come to choose, what we tell you? You come to do what? It's just like taking the shoes off from off your feet. You forgetting the old man out on that ground, coming on this ground, you're coming a new man. This is a separate ground. So you're coming the I.S.U.P.K, you're on separate ground. You might have think or come to some knowledge that the white man is the devil before he becoming the truth. But when you come here, we prove it to you. We show you. Open your eyes some more. You may have think that, say a man can have more than one wife. So come, we'll show you. We prove it to you biblically. The scriptures. You may have think that, some may say, God, you're not supposed to be a coward. When you come, we'll prove it to you. You take it to that higher level, don't? And by me taking you to that higher level on a daily basis, what is happening? What is happening?
Check them and share yourself on the nerves. So,
The things that you knew before, because I'm sure before we came in the truth, we at some point believe that, you know, so Christ really will save every nation. Don't. Thank you. But coming on this separate ground now, what you learn?
right, and that guy, everybody's we are the children of Israel. We're supposed to find out the stuff.
And you learn that the church is teaching about another God, which don't exist in the Bible. That is why in Revelation, remember the last class we talked about, and he opened his mouth in blaspheme against the Most High. Well, all those things is in blaspheming against God. Telling you that God loves everybody. Telling you that water baptism I'm going to change you. Telling you that you don't want to become a Christian, you're supposed to be timid. You know, this is when the man become a Christian and not even want hard again and rolling by. You not even want that hard.
The same thing to my my man joined the church and it's like losing masculinity.
It's like a loser masculinity.
True. And the year of woman said when you think I was a man in the church.
Thank you. That is why the women step up.
Yeah.
And they see the men in the church, but exactly. So all those is blaspheming against God. That's not true baptism. You have to come into the I.S.U.P.K to get the true baptism that the Bible speaks of. So you can coin another key, another phrase. The baptism that I.S.U.P.K teach is the baptism that the Bible speaks of. Right? So the change that you make, you ever done anything wrong in the truth and be corrected? Whether by me or Captain? Huh? Yeah, when they're being corrected, it burns, don't it? Most time it burns. Who that? Turn on, Cap. Concern. I was trying to get it before class. I'm in class now. All right, one quick, but I wanted to ask, how did Officer MacArthur got in the truth? What was attracted him to the truth? Yeah, what attracted him? Oh, the brotherhood that he saw. All right, thank you. All right, thank you. Go on, call that again.
So at the past,
Stop that.
and see him like
Yeah, man. Oh, you have to go up to somebody. All right.
sir.
There's something new we could press now. I can put it back on. Set it, don't make it drop out. I put the button on the side.
It's it within this no though.
That's what I'm saying. Make sure it's set good and it don't and drop it. But don't touch the buttons on the side. The question I want to ask. Still rolling. Yeah, man. All right, welcome back, Facebook. All right, so we're talking about the thing that pull you into the truth. For our beloved brother that passed, Officer Katazan. What pulled him to the truth? Never hear his story? Well, he saw the brotherhood that was being displayed by men when they go to speak. That was what pulled him to the truth. So that was his burning bush. He saw these men moving with care for each other. And he said, let me go and check it out. And by coming in, he get what? He got baptized. But if you notice, when you come to the truth, they're not dipping the water. So your baptism is spiritual. And it is done daily. That's why you have to, you should be in a class daily. You have class here Wednesdays and Sundays. So you find the class online. Saturday there is Sabbath class. So you find a class every day. Because you must die daily. about. That we are talking about. What must die?
The old man.
Thank you. So think of the things that you like or dislike while you were in the world. To come with the truth, for instance, maybe you were a brother who never like socializing much. Coming the truth, it means what?
Get a lot of it right.
It means that you have to now learn brotherhood and display brotherhood. So you get a baptism in brotherhood. And for you, what you never like?
Maybe like no, we never like we only person to do like if you do a work and so you work and something happen.
Right, so most brothers never like people when they come into the truth. Prior to coming to the truth, but you come into the truth, you realize that brotherhood requires what? That you have to be around each other. Right. That's how you get to sharpen each other. When you're sharpening, most of you understand the knife. You're sharpening the knife. The file ain't out there. And the knife is here and you're rubbing. You have to be on it, ain't it? Iron sharpened iron. You have to be in the presence. So you have to be in the presence to be baptized. Finish Exodus.
Verse 6.
All right, verse 6. So what verse 7 says? Oh, all right, go on.
Father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, and the Most eat with faith, for he was afraid upon God.
All right, so the angel declared, who sent him? The God of Abraham, God of Isaac, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So right there now something clicked in Moses' head because he must have heard that before. And then in hiding face because he knows say you can't look upon God's face and live. And he's not ready to die. So he was about to to begin the process of his baptism. Because baptism is not a one day, one event thing. Because if you remember, even when the chariot, when they were in the wilderness, what used to happen in the cool of the day at the tabernacle, what used to happen? Angels do what? Yes? Oh. All right. Moses at the tabernacle, he used to be in the tabernacle in the cool of the day, which means during the day you go to your daily event in the cool of the day. Just like we have classes at the cool of the day, a cloud would come down over the temple, over the tabernacle. And the angel of the Lord would converse with Moses just like a man reasoning with his friend. Yeah. Right. So that's Moses getting his baptism. Continuing the process of his baptism. So, and this is where a lot of the Christian church now, people falter. Because they think that the baptism is just that one time they have the ceremony and then whoops, dip. They don't go Bible class, they don't. Nothing else is important. They don't read the unless it's Psalm. If it's a Psalm and then open the Bible, put over the baby head and all them too. Yes, sis.
Okay, so this is one of the things that I've heard explained in the repeated that have really brought my attention to the confirmed that the Christian church is no good to the black friends and multitude. There is no good because I have literally heard a preacher already standing up on it and preach that he bring the message across and it was literally the bush was burning and the colors was changing, the leaves were changing and one bag of something. So it had nothing to do with the truth. Nothing you got to tell you that it is about transformation, it's about shedding, it's about becoming a new person, it's about taking something. It's just literally telling that you can.
All right, but guess what? The more important thing there that happened with the two events was Moses taking the shoes from off his feet. That was more important than the burning bush. The burning bush was just to get his attention.
Even that was just telling us literally that he took his shoes from off his feet. Nothing else was explained.
Okay. What happened when he took his shoes off his feet?
That is the first point of indicating the shedding of the old.
Yes, but in the scripture, when Moses took the shoes from off his feet, what happened after that? Yes. We're going into tomorrow. We're still right here at the burning bush. Shoes off my feet. What happened after that with Moses? What happened with Moses after I took the shoes off his feet?
The more I start to talk.
Thank you, man. A conversation begins between him and the Most High, or the angel at the Most High, right? So, what the Christians should have done, is let people know that this is just an indication that you're ready to start communing with the Most High. But the truth is not in them. So, it is what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Like Moses took off his shoes, so he would have, if he never take off his shoes, he couldn't after the most.
Well, guess what? If he didn't take off the shoes, what he would be counted as what? Disobedient. And the angel told him, take off that shoes. Because where you're standing, is holy ground. Meaning, how could the angel tell him to shed yourself of the world? Because what I'm going to say to you, how would Moses do that? He would know what to do. Maybe would I get naked. But the Most High just give him it simple. All right. Think. Exactly. And guess what? The Arabs use it to think that you're going in the temple, you should leave the shoes outside and go in the presence and barefoot. Take it literally. So it's because poor thing. It wasn't for them in the first place. So yeah, they did all they understand. But it wasn't for them. Moses was told to basically shed yourself. Continue reading. Verse what?
Verse 6, verse 7. And the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters. For I know their sorrows.
All right. So you see the depth of the depth. At first, Moses realized that the taskmasters them were really tough on the people. That was why he ended up killing one, right? But now the Most High taking him on a level to show him, say, my people are down there crying, and I've heard their cry. Continue.
Right. Verse 8. And I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land unto a good land, and a large unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzite, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites.
Hivite. Hivite.
Hivites
And the
and
Jebusites. So look at that debt now. Moses now realized that yes, the people have somebody. Yeah. The people have somebody to have the God of Israel now come down to save them. Eh? Who else was aware of that knowledge at the time? Only Moses. So the Moses was taking him on another plane, baptizing him into what is to come. Hence the beginning of his transformation. Because that was totally different from everything that he knew in the world. Because after he killed the Egyptian and him realized that it is known that he killed the Egyptian, what he did? He fled, he went in hiding. He didn't have an army to go and see these people. So the baptism that you are getting today is a similar thing. Moses is taking you into knowing that he is coming to get you and he's coming to destroy your enemy. How many people in the world know that outside of the truth? Because they think that the Most High is coming to get all nations.
All nation who going to the church.
All nations who go, all right. All nations who they don't think they will go to the church, they say all nations who believe. But your baptism in the truth now is letting you know that it's you God love, it's you Him coming to save. He has heard your cry, being afflicted by 30 Americans, systematic racism, led by the Europeans. I don't believe that they are innocent. So that's your baptism. You know, coming to know that. And you're coming to know, look at the things you know, the other persons. Even your who is your leader as a nation as Israel right now. Generally, you understand rank and order. Maybe not fully, but at least you have a learning understanding, a working knowledge of that, right? You understand if the Most High was to communicate with us today, who we going to talk to? All right. But what would the man outside the truth say? What? Can't talk to everybody. Yeah, all right. So at the time, the only man here getting the baptism is Moses, you know. And maybe that's why I had some of the problem in the wilderness with the people. Because after him alone get the baptism and him to go out and teach the rest of the people. I don't want to use the word baptized because it wasn't called so then. But he was to now teach the elders, especially first, of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and how he actually operates. That is the baptism. How does God actually operate? If you're in an army, let's say you're in the Jamaica Defense Force, what's the first thing you learn? when you go and join the military school. Yeah, they teach you how the army operate. They teach you the ranks. So you, when you leave training, you know who to salute, who not to salute. When you are given an order, what to do. Should you listen to a higher ranking person? When you are given an order, does that higher ranking person supersede the one that is the order that you get? All those things, right? You learn these things for the armies of the world. So if the army of the Most High supersedes the army of the world, then your baptism have to be a little deeper. Hence, spiritual. A soldier in the world at camp today, tonight him getting time off and should go sleep and so on. You can go outside and go sleep without war and come back. Don't. Can you do it? He can go outside and steal as long as him don't get catch. The army won't punish him. Can you do it? He can tell another soldier lies if he wants. Can you do it? Can probably go outside and murder. If he's not caught, come back, leave no trace. Can you do that? Because you know on the spiritual level, who knows when you do it? And then going to ensure that you get punished. One year another, I'm going to come out in it. And Christ tell you, what is it in the house? However, what is inside the house must go up and the house top, something like that. How go again? How that phrase go again? Sis?
I know how phrase that say, what's done in the dark must come to you.
Right, something like that. But Christ put it on the way like, what on the house must come on the house top or something on the sort. I don't remember what put it, but that's what it meant. What was hidden will come to light. So your baptism ain't like nothing else in the world. Just like our beloved brother, Officer MacArthur, saw the brotherhood. What happened? It struck something spiritual. And he came in. And if you listen to his videos, you can know that he wasn't faking it. You ever listen to his video? Any of his video?
Watch when I'm there in General YAHANNA.
Yeah. When he was doing his speaking. Oh, he was having a class. All right. And you can tell that the brother wasn't faking it. So you know that his baptism was real. He was speaking the things that he learned. Out in the world, what them tell us, love everybody. You come in the truth. Your baptism teach you that the white man don't love you. And then you'll start to see it. Because prior to coming to the world, you that brother that was shot in the back, you in the world, what would you say? All right. If you had a little love for the white man, what would you be thinking? You would say he was wrong to walk away and he was wrong to be going in his vehicle and not doing. But you in the truth, you learn that this man here is happy. Prior to them shooting the man, what happened? They were physically assaulting the man. Punch him up in all kind of ways. So when he break off and them know, he can't take them and he walk away and he go towards the vehicle. So in the world, they would be teaching you that you must obey the oppressor, he reigns over you, and you must do everything what him says. In the truth where you learn.
They learn that he's the devil.
You learn that he's the devil the Bible speaks of. So because you know that he's the devil the Bible speaks of, he comes in your presence, first thing you do, what you do?
If you come in my presence,
Mm.
I talk about you start becoming suspicious.
Exactly.
As a trick.
You realize it's a threat. But when you're in the truth, funny enough, you don't come up under them kind of way. So it must be the most I said in him against those in the world. Alright, let's finish Moses. I want to go to others.
Verse 8.
9.
Verse
9, we read 8 already.
Verse 9. Now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me, and I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppress them. Come now therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt.
Is that deep baptism that you know? Being called by God, the most powerful force in the universe, to come and release his people. That is serious work, sir. But Moses wasn't the only one that the Most High told to take the shoes from off his feet. Who else in tell that? Not Aaron. Which one? No.
Joshua chapter 5, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass when Joshua was by Jericho that he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, there stood a man over against him with his sword drawn in his hand. And Joshua went unto him and said unto him, Art thou for us, or for our avenged adversaries?
All right, so Joshua now by Jericho and then look, lifted up his eyes and then looked and see a man with his sword, with him warrior gear ready. So Joshua go over to him and say, you with us, or are you for our adversary? And what did the man say? Read on.
Verse 14, and he said, Nay, but as captain of the host of the Lord am I now come. And Joshua fell on his face to the earth, and did worship, and said unto him, What saith my Lord unto his servant?
So right away Joshua realized he was speaking to an angel. Because he said, nah, not for the adversary, but I'm here as captain of your army. Which means what? I come here with a higher rank than you, Joshua.
God.
And Joshua recognized that. And he could only recognize that because he understood what?
Yeah.
Rank and order. It's only that could make Joshua. go down on him face right away. What would the carnal man do? He's only a militant man who would seek to do that. Because then right away we realize that, first of all, something drew his attention. If he was just an ordinary man, with a sword or something, Joshua probably would have marched him out in army over there to him. Or ignore it. But Joshua recognized the militancy. That's why he went over to him and said, are you for us or for the Lord's army? Are you for us or for our adversary? The man said, nah, but as captain over your army. And what? Joshua fell down and started worshiping the man and said, all right, what is your command? What do you have to say to me? Continue.
Verse 15. And the captain of the Lord's host said unto Joshua, loose thy shoe from off thy foot, for the place whereon thou standest is holy. And Joshua did so.
So, what do you think happened there? Same thing. Joshua was getting the baptism in what?
In what?
Yeah, in what? Moses got a baptism in releasing the Most High's people. So Joshua was doing what now? Leading. You read the book of Joshua? What do you realize about Joshua?
Joshua is the man, the marshal of the wall at Jericho, right?
Yeah.
He's as far as we
Oh, that's why I said long ago you read the book. But if you remember, did Joshua lose any battle? Joshua didn't lose no battle. Remember, Joshua defeat both 5 kings in one battle. He became a fearless fighter. So right now the captain of the Lord's army teach him what? What do you think the captain of the Lord's army taught Joshua? Warfare. Teach him how to fight. I'm here as captain of over the host of the Lord's army. But I remember, if you remember, I know they were fighting from before Moses passed off, But when Joshua became leader now, take over the army, take over the host of Israel, marching into battle now, wartime. The Most High said, all right, come let me teach you warfare. Joshua became the person that you read about. Never lose the battle. Defeated everybody in that land. They fled from him. It was only after he passed that we start listening to the other nations and so on and so forth. But he was a no-nonsense leader. But the Most High told Moses that, tell these people that they can't continue like this, because the person who's going to lead after you, he don't have the patience like you, Moses. Yes. But I go find it now, no, you're going to find it. Read it. He never used the word, I'm paraphrasing, he didn't use the word patient. But he basically telling Moses that the man who's going to take over from you is the no-nonsense man. And Moses said, then, and I've been around so long talking and things, let me know who it is. That was how you get to know that it was Joshua who was going to take over after him. Now Joshua, Moses started to, teach him about leading Israel. as to where Moses know. But the angel now here give him a baptism into something bigger. Warfare. One which Moses didn't really get. Because Moses didn't physically go out there and lead any battle. If you remember, Joshua used to lead them from in Moses' time. And there were moments when, anytime they're going into battle, Moses and Aaron would go up to the mountain and hold their hand up to the heavens until the battle finished. And there was a battle where I think it was Moses who was holding up his hand. And one and him and get tired and but where the upper go down, the enemy would prevail. And here and said, not so. And just get 2 rock stone and catch up him. I make it stay up there until Israel prevail over the enemy. Right. Now, after Moses passed, Joshua now become the leader. Out there in the battle, was a warfare. So you come in the truth now. There's so much things you learn in the truth. In this baptism you are getting, you learn a little about warfare. What do you learn about warfare? What the first thing you learn? Thank you. First thing I learned about warfare since coming in the truth is that life itself is about war. And we are a constant battle with the oppressor. That is why I do it in treat you so. We are in a constant battle with him. The war never ceases. Well, maybe when Shiloh come and they do what he's to do, then there'll be some peace. Huh? Right. So that was that. That's 15. All right. Take me down now to Matthew 3. So you see, the Mosai didn't require, when they get down to Joshua, it didn't require a burning bush to get Joshua's attention. Joshua no business, Joshua no scientific mind. Joshua is a warrior. So what the Mosai used to get him attention? A warrior. A warrior. So I said a warrior and then say, who you say?
Like you know.
Yeah, and it been a that won't draw Joshua attention.
I don't think that makes sense to a warrior. Try out it before it.
Exactly, out it before it spread to my troops. But the most I know to get his attention, he said a warrior to get his attention. All right. All right. So the most I knows how to get our attention. He knows how to strip everything from around you. Let it burns. Yes, Father. Oh, that's what you mean. Okay, I get it now. Good night. Hey, yeah, look at Joe, we didn't know. You know, just a couple of weeks ago, Captain said, you know, this man need to learn something that moves from the body. 2 weeks after Captain said that he matter anymore. You see, this is what I tell you, you see the UPK, you're careful what you do. You have to be at your peace. Take it, but you give it instruction, do it. Sometimes you scratch your head, You don't see the meaning behind it. But it tells us. I heard Captain Masha talk already. When him just come in the truth. When him learn. I never tell him. The black white man is the devil, the Bible speaks of. And he say, alright. So he says, then everything that happens to the white man, they teach him, say, yeah. Alright. And then go to him, do him just start do what he was told. White man is the devil. And by doing it, him really is when him start doing it, him really learn that, oh, this is what they mean when they were teaching me that white man is the devil. Yeah. And he is behind every sin that happens. Yeah. What's the biggest problem with Jamaica? Crime and violence.
Yeah.
Who thought it was?
The white man. The oppressor.
And it's not any white man. They use the CIA.
Yeah.
They use the CIA. So when we in Jamaica say the white man is the devil, the Bible speaks of, guess what? We can't say it foolishly because of what? We can show them the crime level in Jamaica. And we can show them the CIA report. That started it. So far, this election, notice, hear much. You hear all the violence? Just some little things. One time, man and man have grievances before election. And they take it out on election time, in election time. So it counts as election violence. But who taught them how to do things like this? Yeah. So when we say that he's behind all the evils that happens, we know what we're saying. You might not see it now, but you know what we're saying. All right. We'll start reading Matthew. Matthew 3 and 1.
Matthew chapter 3 verse 1. In those days came John the Baptist preaching in the wilderness of Judea and saying, repent ye.
What they call wilderness? Really? Can't be that jungle, man. Think of the place that it took place. Desert. It's like a barren open place. Just like your parents know, so, boy, you look like you in the wilderness. You like you just lost out there. So what had to happen then? They had to go out and hide. Basically hide and do anything. Because the status quo that was in Jerusalem at the time didn't support what he was doing. They don't know what John the Baptist was doing. There was a temple. You want to be healed or change or whatever, you would go to the temple, you're washing, you go to the temple, do your sacrifices and things. But the sacrifice had gotten expensive because you have to buy the things that they require. The lamb without blemish. Difficult it was to get lamb without blemish. What a lamb without blemish means? No flaws. No broke foot, your foot never break. It don't have one eye. It don't have two color. What? Speckle, right. No two color. It has to be without blemish. So even though you have a flock, probably you still have to go and buy a lamb. And if Easter was over the nation, whatever they have any good land to raise up, because you must go to the temple to buy it. Just think of now, in the stage where they tell you, you can't harvest rainwater. Probably. Probably they became the major herders. Over the temple, you still had the Levites, and that couldn't change. It wouldn't have any meaning to the people if the oppressor changed that. So they had to keep that. But they ensured that the person over the temple was with them, was with the oppressor. So that is why they could, without the oppressor having said, they knew that they should keep the status quo and get rid of Christ. Because Christ is going to change things. Understand? At all times, the status quo always means oppression to you. Check anywhere back in history. That word always means that you are maintaining what the oppressor wants to take over you. Understand? Mm-hmm. When Esau wanted certain things to be done over the temple then, over the people then, well, high priest, you go to converse with the high priest. You can certain things he would do on his own because he would need the support. It's two things always control people. They go hand in hand. That is why Christ is making you king and priest. So two goes hand in hand. So you had the high priest, he had to converse who was king over Judea. By that time, who was king again? Herod. Yeah, King Herod. But he answered to the bigger king in Rome. Right? So, read on. Verse 1.
Verse 3.
Go on.
For this is he that was spoken of by the prophet Isaiah.
Isaiah. That is Isaiah.
Isaiah.
That is Isaiah.
Isaiah saying, the voice of one crying in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make his path straight.
Observe your comments.
And the same John had his raiment of camel's ear, and a leathern girdle about his loins, and his meat was locust and wild honey. Then went out to him Jerusalem, and all Judea, and all the region round about Jordan.
Right, so they go out to him. They found him to be baptized. Go on.
And verse 6, and were baptized of him in Jordan, confessing their sins, but then he saw many of his.
Hold on, I know one. You have a comma, you know. You have a full stop and you have a different verse. Confessing their sins. Continue.
But when he saw many Sadducees.
All right. These are two powerhouses who was in the time who you must always be familiar with. The Pharisees, the Sadducees. One believed in reincarnation and one did not. I don't remember which one was which one. Right? And the reincarnation, one said when you're dead, you're dead. And the other said when a man dies, he comes again. Go on.
Come to his baptism, he said unto them, O generation of vipers, who hath warned you to flee from the wrath to come.
All right. So this is the Pharisees and Sadducees came out to John the Baptist to baptize, you know. But what happened by the time Christ came? What happened? What happened by the time Christ? The Pharisee and the Sadducee, they came out to John and baptized. But by the time Christ came and started his ministry, what happened? No man, John disciple them was still around baptizing. But what happened between Christ and the Pharisee and Sadducee? Yeah, Christ, right. They became seeking to change the status quo. John the Baptist was telling them that I'm here to prepare the way for Christ to come, for the one to come, right? The one mentioned by Isaiah. But by the time that one come on, the Pharisee and the Sadducee saw what he was about. It's like they look and said, no, son, I'm not going to give up all them work for money I make. So they were making money, you know. Yeah, man. Well, yeah. Remember what? Remember the sacrifice was daily sacrifice. So money had to be spent buying the things. When it comes to feast days, they have people from all over come and money change. And everything was done in the temple. The selling of the animal, the conversion of the money. Because how it goes, you know, they would come from their country with their money that they spend in the country. And then they come into Jerusalem and change it for the money that is used in Jerusalem. So there was that like banking. Yeah. That's why Christ threw them out. Because and says his father's house is not for den of thieves or something like that. He said something like that. And they physically threw them out. Once Christ became his major contender. Continue.
Verse 8. Bring forth therefore fruit meet for repentance, and think not say within yourselves, ye of Abraham to our father, for I say unto you, that God is able of these stones to raise up children unto Abraham.
John tell him, say, God can raise up from these stones children unto Abraham. So nobody think that because you are from the seed of Abraham means that you can do anything you want and the Most High must go through you. Continue.
And now, verse 10, and now also the axe is laid unto the root of the tree. Therefore every tree which bringeth not forth good fruit is
hewn down.
Is hewn down.
And cast into the fire.
Cast into the fire.
So the axe being laid at the tree is their system of priests. The priests were thinking about it. The axe is being laid priesthood because you are not flexing right. Continue. And Christ did lay the axe. Continue.
Verse 11. I indeed baptize you with water unto repentance. He that cometh after me is mightier than I, whose shoes I am not worthy to bear. He shall baptize you with the Holy Spirit and with fire.
All right. So here John the Baptist declaring to them, I'm just baptizing you with water now. But the man who's coming from me, to whom I am preparing the way, that man is baptizing you with the Holy Spirit and with fire. And that's what Christ did. Because every time Christ speaks, what happened to them? The scribes and Pharisees, what? They were hurt, burned them, not telling them the truth, not seeking to be politically correct. Meaning that you're preaching, but you know, you don't want to step on their toes, you don't want to hurt them. They're not preaching them, so as you don't offend them, they are powerhouses. No, I speak. What you think most time true things at the brothers and so, and they are offended because now two things are one. Yeah, you saying something? One main thing you realize that offend people when they go on the road is what? Tell me. Which are the flyer offend the people the most? Abortion. You know, so the abortion flyer offend people. Sometimes every time I would give out abortion flyer, they look for it and see. So they can just watch them. If they look on it and they see them just hold it by their side and take that crush up this up. I trade to that nearest thing. Because you mash some toes, yeah.
And so, you know, when we are past most of the ladies and the seminary, they read
In their life, they remember the white Jesus. Say, yes, man, you know this man a long time saying blah, blah, blah. Right. But tell them something else now where is more personal to them. They don't want to hear that. Well, that was the problem that with the Sadducees and Pharisees with Christ. Because John the Baptist was just telling them, get ready for the man who's coming that Isaiah talk about. So they come and they baptize and say, yes, we are ready. But when the man come now and start to lay the axe at the root of the tree and telling you the truth, they were offended.
Christ said, John indeed baptized, right? And just the way that Christ put his message across.
That's the fire. That's the fire, you know. Because it burns, the truth burns. But you in the truth, and when you come class and you get in the baptism, sometimes you the first the teacher, the other one says something which puts a core in you. And you sit down in a chair and you ring up and you yeah. But if you offer the truth, you look in yourself and then you make the change. So that's how the flesh dies. So you can't come to the church soul as a homosexual, carrying the world behind you. Still up. It don't work like that. Just like how Joshua thought he knew about fighting, and when he reached the captain, then he realized he didn't know nothing much. Moses thought that he knew about the oppression in Egypt, but he couldn't do nothing. The most I come and show him say, yeah, I see you have the heart for the people, you know. Come let me show you how you do this thing. But really and truly, the first thing, you can't do it without the Most High. Hello, if you think you bad, you go a camp without without Christ coverage and so on to you. Maybe you might be the first officer remember them while he was teaching. So, wasn't thing there. I more believe that the time for the truth wasn't yet. Because what happened after that? They became more militant. It's just like when Nehemiah was rebuilding the temple and the other nation come around them and start to talk and probably throw things at them and throw a word and break them spirit. What they did. You ever read Nehemiah's story? You never read it, man. That's not it. You read it. You never about that boy Nehemiah. Alright. What happened then was that they took up arms. In the wall of Jerusalem and the gate, they took up arms. So they didn't went out there willy-nilly again because they realized the other nation coming up against them for the work they're doing. So you with the truth and you're going out to speak, the most that you make sure it's Christ on your side as a sword. And of course you should know men know how to get Christ on your side. How you do? Well, that's the basis. But remember, you can't you do sin in between that. So what you do? Okay. Come on, you do your sin. And you know your sin of speak to the Christ. Asking forgiveness. Third, I will be in the midst. All right. That's why you no one man no go camp. No, they don't do that. They have to be practical. One man talking, you must have a next man watching in the back. Yeah. Well, luckily for us out here, you don't have Muslim going up against. You know, in Trinidad, you know, they have it probably a little more challenging. You know. They have Hinduism, they have Muslim, and they have about half the population of Jamaica, less than half. Christianity, we are Christians. Yeah, but yeah, but they now come up to you know. The Muslim will come and challenge you because his religion teaching that. The Muslim religion teaching that he must personally put down those who go against the Muslim. That's why them burn up themselves, them bomb themselves to kill the adversaries. I will turn up and tell her to clap. Attack anybody. Really? Might, you know, gonna go up to against you more. The young bad man who just turned Christian. I'm not forgetting badness, you know. But it might also be the easier one for you to win. Might see your militancy and love it. Remember, just our brother that died, that was what pulled him. Officer MacArthur, the militancy. Majority of the brothers in the truth, that's what pulled them. But we don't say militancy, we call it brotherhood. Right? Yes. call it brotherhood. Rastafari talk about
Rasta yesterday. Elder.
yeah.
Little bit older than elder, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him one thing for Rasta. And I said, so I said, all right, what was Rasta? So they got it. I said, no, I'm not sure. I said, oh, okay, Rasta. I said, no, I'm Rasta. I said, you need to Rasta the light to the
Which of the houses am I lying to? You say no. Let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened. Deep down in them, as a Benjamin, they know that the church is wrong. But that's as far as they know. So they just grasp anything that opposes the church. And yet still, when they give them the truth which opposes the church, they ain't there.
That's the thing. You know, some of it is Christianity, you know, religion of Christianity. You know, gravitate to the Rasta. I mean, my answer still, you see that,
Yeah, that's it.
that most Rasta, we have some militant Rasta, you know, some
Yeah, man. Well, maybe they might leak you this one. No, me just say that, you know. Because they might not, because Christians used to do it too. And they never really attack them physically.
But maybe true Christian gravitate too much. And then maybe Rasta them feel like Christian.
No, really, no. I Rasta them are Christian. And the worst thing, you know, the worst kind, because they don't know. They don't even know them are Christian. Exactly.
We might add that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing they do. And say something bad. Peace of Christianity, you know.
But that's what I tell you. This way might get from them, might be verbal. Mm-hmm. All right, but look where when we were speaking downtown, there was that one set in the park every time we speak, you know, with the Naya being the drum, you know. And we out there, we speak against Rasta, we speak against this. They never say nothing. They walk past one. They never one day look for you and say, you know what the way I say I lie? They just walk past you and go, I know well, I don't even know which one that was. I don't know. No. But you know, most of the houses of Rastafari, you know, Naya being of Scott Fast, then basically gone. Fall as in mash up. Yeah. Shut up. Because there is no brotherhood. Biggest downfall. Brotherhood only, true brotherhood only exists in the truth. In the I.S.U.P.K. And that's where that true brotherhood can only exist among you being separate from the mother nation. Because all of them houses have white Rasta Coolie Rasta. Shiny Rasta.
Don't cancel. Don't trespass. Most teachers. You go down there in Somalia, be a Chinese Rasta, Mr. Daniel.
Alright.
And they worship them more than they want to know. Because when they were saying to you, they say, be king this, be king over this stuff. Because the Chinese them just sit down there and they don't talk. They don't sit down there so with the Chinese. And they say, same like how they deal with them in the world, so they deal with them in the community in the last period.
I know I'm commune with them. And so when things start to crumble, them rich enough. And them financially off, better off. Them Israelites were in it, you know. They think they must spend their money on it. They're not giving them anything. But have the house built up where you running it, you can afford to give everybody and save them up. But you know not up there. Maybe even put one of them up there. I see what. Because you think they love you. Yeah. In the truth. True baptism only exists in the I.S.U.P.K. Because you learn in the U.P.K. that one. These races don't love you. So when you look over there in the Rasta, Muslim or whatever, you see it. Because there's a lot of Muslims out here, you know. And funny enough, you know, I can't identify them on the street. So I don't know, but they are there.
Yeah.
All right. Do this. Spend the money on them. They spend the money on the blacks out here, but they spend it on the one another over there. Yeah. But try and enhance their life. They ain't gonna do that. Just like the Christians. All right, thank you. All right, let's finish with this one, this man here.
Verse 12. Whose fan is in his hand, and he will truly purge his floor.
Thoroughly.
Oh.
Truly. Yeah, right.
Truly purge his floor, and gather his wheat into the garner. But he will burn up the chaff. Chaff.
That's the waste. Unquenchable fire. Right. So the chaff now would have been like the scribe and Pharisees now, who, when Christ said they sit in the way sit in the doorway to heaven, but they will not come in. And the preventing others from quenchable fire Christ clap them with was that, I mean, you can imagine you speak against people and they hate you. Speak the truth to people and they hate the guts just for telling them the truth. And we get a lot of that. Alright, the baptism of Christ now. Let's go from 13. Then came cometh Jesus.
Then cometh Jesus from Galilee to Jordan and to John to be baptized of him. But John forbade him, saying, I have need to be baptized of thee, and cometh thou to me.
Right, John said, are you sure to baptize me? So you see the hypocrisy with John. John recognized Christ in him. And they were cousins. They were blood cousins in him. But he recognized that he was the man that is Isaiah spoke of. You realize that? She said, I have need to be baptized of you, or you are come to me. And yet still, John was able to say, to send his disciples and say, are you really the Messiah? That is why Christ said, John's position in the new kingdom is what? The least. Right. John the Baptist was the least. Because what he was supposed to do, you know, after baptized Christ, he was supposed to turn over the ministry to Christ.
But he never
Didn't do it. Who knows?
right.
So his ministry now come like the fake Israelite group. That's why Christ said, all right, you can pour new wine into old wineskin. And what Christ was coming with now with the fire, that was new wine. Now John the Baptist is now old wineskin. All right, let him go. And John the Baptist had disciples too. Yeah. All right, so I think we can go down to 14. What 14 says?
But John forbade that 14 finishes. Verse 15. And Jesus answering said unto him, suffer it to be so now, for thus it becometh us to fulfill our righteousness. Then he suffered him.
Meaning that after Christ said that, all right, and baptized him, all right?
Yeah.
Now, that was water baptism. So you say now, if Christ coming with a true baptism, why Christ went to John to baptize? $1 million question. Who have the answer?
Wrong. Wrong, sir. It's wrong on order. John was the man at the time.
No, he's not drunk on order. I said it before. No. What did I say before? What was John supposed to do? Right. So Christ coming to him to be baptized is to show people, show this John follower that what John is doing is wrong. Nothing is wrong with what John is doing. But then after John see him and said, oh, you come to me to be baptized, I mean, sure, I come to you. After I baptize him, you should have just turn the ministry over to him. And make it draw another verse. Go down to 17.
17. Love God in whom I am well pleased.
Right. And the verse before that tell us that the Holy Spirit came down on him like a dove. In the sight of all of them. So John was supposed to be following him there. John should have been first disciple right there. After baptism. But yes, power, not easy to let go. Not easy to let go of power. So that was it. So that him now not following Christ, that's what caused him to be beheaded. Because the Most High had to take him out of the way of Christ. The people do you already do your work. Come on, do it, man. Don't let God take you out. He was to be following Christ. His position would have in the new kingdom would have been secured. He wouldn't because I mean correct. John born with the Holy Spirit, you know, and get the Holy Spirit from in their mother's womb, you know, like which Christ. And when he baptized Christ, read verse 18, verse 16.
And Jesus, verse 15, and Jesus, when he was baptized, went up straight away out of the water. Straightway out of the water. And lo, the heavens were opened unto him, and they were opened unto him, and he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and lighting upon him.
That's when they got the Holy Spirit after baptized. So if the Holy Spirit is a vibe, who gave him the vibe? Who gave Christ that vibe? John had it, you know. John had the Holy Spirit.
So John gave it to him.
John gave him that vibe. The conversation. Come on. I don't mean to say, boy, I baptize you. Are you sure to baptize me, man? Christ said, well, you know, all things must be, what I'm saying? It becometh us to fulfill their all righteousness. That was vibe right there, and then after I'm baptized, just open up. So even though somebody give you the vibe, so in other words, I can give you the Holy Spirit. I can give you that vibe. It comes really. Understand? So John Falter right there. John Falter right there. Because the water baptism that Christ did was to show the people say, you know, nothing is wrong with what he's doing. But I am here now. Who Christ baptized? No one. Well, sorry, let me ask another way. Who Christ baptized by water? Right. Who did he baptize by water? No one. Yet he saved the world. So that's showing that the water baptism by itself is nothing. So that is why we don't think about indulging it in the truth. We take you straight to the fire. Understand? Right. So, all right, let's look at Peter. Okay, I have to go to First Peter 3. That show you what true baptism entails. All right, you know, before we touch that First Peter, let's touch John. Go back to John. Oh, we're not going to John. When Christ was talking to Nicodemus, John chapter 3, verse 5. Read 5.
John chapter 3, verse 5. Jesus answered.
All right, hold on. Before you touch that, read 3. Read from 3 down to 5.
John chapter 3, verse 3. Jesus answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Nicodemus said unto him, How can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born? Jesus answered, Verily, verily, I say unto you, unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of God.
All right. So being born of the water, that signifies the body, the flesh. Help of it change too. Understand? Yeah, you making the being born again, you change the inner man. But the body itself has to change. Because you can't change the inner man and you take in this body to go and sleep with wolves. Yes? So which other way you think that would be? Changing the body. The things that you used to do with the body. You used to eat pork. You used to eat crab. You used to eat shrimp. You used to eat lobster. You not eating it. Is that spiritual? Right. So you have to change the physical body. So that's why I'm saying the water. You can find the material side. Right? So John was just showing the change from the material side. But him now show taking you a little further to the spiritual side. That was why I'm telling you, you hear that you should not copy to the neighbor. Right? But even if you think about it, you've seen already. You understand? You didn't do it, you know. But you not pray neighbor. Why? You have never approached her that way. But every day you say I have prayer them kind of way there. You've seen already. That's the level that Christ took it. So Christ has shown us that take the purge further in. Click the heart, change the heart. Don't have the heart to even do it. Because guess what? If the opportunity come, you will do it. That's why you pray the man white. If you look over there and smile after you, you're gone. You're gone. Exactly. So maybe you might not make that move, but any day the opportunity will present itself, you're gone. But if you take it from the inside now, you don't think that way. If she even look at you and smile and say hi, and you will see if she now come trying to attract you, the change is from the inside. You have already done the change inside. So you won't get far. So that's the level of Christ taking on. So yeah, to really change, you have to change from the inside. Because you won't have the mind to do the thing. So in other words, then you always sit down and you look at the Muslims. But you have never really gone to the temple. You look at them and you say, you don't be like how them man a roll and things. Any day one of them come to you and try to introduce it to you, you're gone in. And then the next thing you know, you're gone in idolatry. You understand? So the change has to be from the inside. So Christ said you have to be born of the water, which signifies the material side of you, and of the spirit, which is the spiritual side of you. So it's not just to dip in the water. Yeah. Exactly. So fight the battle from in the mind. Right? You are somebody who always go after wars like prostitute. You know that an addiction. You're one who always want to smoke. That's carnal, that's the body, ain't it? But you don't get a cigarette for 2 days. What's the first thing you start talking? The mind starts to say, well, I want a cigarette, But if you take your mind, lock it up. Don't think about it. I know a smoker is going to tell me, boy, you say the talk, you think it's that easy? Well, you have to fight it from here. If you're the kind of man who love go over the fence and go chop your neighbor things, go thief, your neighbor sit there. You have to fight it from here. Resist the temptation from up here. Because when Christ show as a man thinketh, so is he as well. So if you think of the sin, you're going to commit it. Understand?
Okay.
You sit down and think of stealing that car. Any day the opportunity presents itself, you're going to teach it. So you have to fight it from inside.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first initial class, the one that
No, you see the key, you're in a car now, and then you're thinking what?
when I thought comes here, I was cut to them.
That's it.
I agree with that.
Yeah, but that is where it starts. Mm.
Start really in my area, hold on, so the deep right here, now you're sort of hard to fly so
Right.
you know, I put him up to do on there, flashback to a time when he picture
I remember I did nice.
yeah, vision, remember yourself a team. See, a team, you realize we are a team.
Yeah. But that is, you have to battle it. Exactly. So that is battling it.
That is battling.
Mm-hmm.
So the initial task itself is not necessarily you do that sometimes the demon do that.
Exactly. The battling, you cut the thought and you don't make the action follow. So and you say, hungry no man. But guess what now? You know that's when you cut it out of diet and you smell it. You have to really cut it out of diet. Anytime you smell it, it gives you a bad feeling. It's a long time you don't smell it. I bought this. Okay. Well, I did stop eating meat one time. Only fish. And I couldn't go around no ramen. Feel like I want to vomit. That is all you have to. That is what you need to create inside your game. Sin. You understand what I'm saying? Just this start of you want. You need to get that. That's a level of Christ. You, not just the water, but also the spirit. So just this you ever anybody who angers you, if you see them there and you just see them on your cross, maybe they do you something in that past. And you just sit down and pray other things and they just pop up in your mind and you just get cross. Well, that's the attitude you need to have towards sin. When it pop up in your mind, man, you need to get cross, man. It's supposed to just be part of it. Get you angry. Get you upset. What is this, man? That's all you battle. That's why you have to leave it. Yeah. Yeah, because the little one is the one where see.
If angry with somebody, and I know that
Yeah.
they realize something. Bigger temptation come behind that. Shortly after that, like you just use that.
Exactly.
Use that.
Worse if you make a move towards it.
Like you're reactive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. First thing, You smell the pork. And he said, because so, take a spoon and you taste the gravy. And he goes up, boom, and spit it out. And then he said, why, that tastes too bad. You know, the next thing he wants to tell you, take one piece of meat.
Put piece of meat, taste piece of meat for your mouth.
No, bite it and chew it. Yeah, but you know, it's like you go and you say, boy, don't consume them things there, you know. But, you know, the first in your conversion, you know, and the temptation come to you. And you go say, taste the gravy. And you just eat. Yeah. Well, that's the attitude the most Christ wants you to get. Don't even bother look over the friends for the name of it. Because any day the opportunity presents itself, you're going to say, hi, I like what you're looking at. And you say, Lord have mercy, if she ever gonna like you. She gonna make sure someone bulb in the house blow. And to blow when I was on that room. And guess what? Are you more calm? With that boobs and without bra. A jiggle up in her under clothes. You know, the lights, it blow, you know. And then I look up there now, I look up down and say, no, I'm watching people them a jiggle up in front of you because you were entertaining the thought before. And then maybe she got drop something in front of you and just bend down and take it up. Sure, no? But not understand the rest of the one. But I always smile as we say, like a real thing. It's a real thing. Maybe I hear it, so I don't know that man. Let me talk about the reaction. So this is the attitude you have to develop towards sin. This was the, if you notice, when you listen to Officer MacArthur's classes and street speaking, he seemed to have that attitude towards it. I'm here in Jamaica. I can only talk about what you see from the videos. He seemed to have an attitude like that. And that's the correct attitude you would need to traverse this world while being in the truth. You can't have two wives and you go home and you see them kiss them one another and you don't say nothing. Eh? So, because what? For you entertain the small portion, the bigger portion is going to cover it. And next thing you know, just sweet. Someone the police man arrest someone and he goes to poof and kick you to it and poof. That's how sin lick you most time, you know. Lick you straight off your feet and you just drop in it. Drop straight in sin. Alright. So take me now to First Peter. Can close the other one. First Peter 3. First Peter chapter 3, verse 20 and 21.
First Peter chapter 3, verse 20 and 21. Verse 20, which sometimes were disobedient when once the long suffering of God waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was preparing, were saved by water.
So basically Peter here telling you that water not save themselves in that and say you're baptized. You're saved by water in Noah's time.
Verse 21. The like figure whereunto even baptism doth also now save us.
Right. Meaning you feel say baptism is going to save you. Water did only save 8 people. So that you build it in the water won't be saving you. Continue.
Not the putting away of the filth of the flesh, but the answer of a good conscience toward God.
Right. So it's not the baptism that they were believing that is the baptism going saving them. Not the putting away of the filth of the flesh. You understand? And that was why Christ had a problem with the Pharisees and the Sadducees. Because they were dipped in the water. So then he said and saved them. But the filth of the flesh which they were doing, the filthy things that they were doing to other people, because they were the powerhouses in the temple. The filth that they were doing to people and things, they didn't put it away. So true baptism didn't catch them. So Peter is showing the people now, it's not the water save you, it's the changes that you put away the filth of the flesh. That is true baptism. Stop sleep with man. Yeah, woman, stop sleep with woman. Right? Stop sleep with animal. You understand? It's the putting away of the filth of the flesh. That's it. Any questions? Yeah. So when you put away the filth of the flesh, the filth of the flesh that is talking here is according to God's law. So by doing that, you will get a good conscience towards that. You don't think so? Yeah. Because putting away the filth of the flesh would mean that you're now doing what? Following the law. It would mean you're following the law. And by doing that, you're gonna get a good conscience towards God. Because everything that you would do of the flesh, the law covers it. All the filth that you would do with the flesh, the law already speaks against. Tell me something that you could do which the law doesn't already cover. Can't think of any. Tell me one. Can't think of any. So basically, putting away the filth of the flesh, the yardstick to use there is the laws. Everything that Christ taught, the laws covered. Forgiveness, that was what the daily sacrifices was about. However, there were some laws where you break, where the punishment was death. So even those Christ put on adultery, there was no remittance of sin for after death. Why? Because the law already said there must be no more of the daughters of fire. The law already said that. So what you do? Kill them. And not the adultery, not just the woman gets stoned, but the man. The adulteress and the adulterer get stoned. And you know, adultery is a sin that the woman would initiate. Well, the man who is married. Right. The man who is married. Yeah, because if you sex her and If it's rape, no, if it's rape, the she won't be stoned, you know. And you will get the stone, the man. She never stone. But the sin of adultery comes when the woman that is married to a man go and sleep with another man. So she and the man who she go sleep with must be stoned. If you the man, you better pressure the woman no married. Because if she married, not married and she not betrothed to nobody, she not no man, you is no her husband. You get me? Right. Because the law allow you, I mean, just look at the blessing that the Most High put on Israel, that you shall be as the stars of heaven and the sand of the seashore. That alone shows you say, I don't want wife you're going to use here that is. So allow you to have more than one wife. But there are rules. That other wife that you're going to take with you, she must not have another man. Or you are another, so you're going out dead, left the wife. You just don't leave with your wife.
And the story that is got,
Mm.
you sleep with other man when somebody wants to sleep with your wife under the sun.
Oh, that was David. Yeah. And it came to pass. Hmm? Mm. After you did it again. Well, David named it.
No, back to where that's before.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Yeah, because if dead left a wife, the next man will get it. Unless she's not ugly. I should just don't want nobody. I just don't want nobody else. All right, so any other question? And back to that. Oh, Officer MacArthur's funeral is on Tuesday, no?
Sure. Think so.
All right, the notification Tuesday the 2nd. It's either Tuesday or Wednesday. And it will be streamed live. Time to be, well, I have to look at the time and match it back to our time. I'll send out a notification. You can send it on the Jamaica page, local contact page. So you know when is that funeral, and to find the link, I think you can view it live, right? So with that, pass the class to Tucson Officer Okawa.
These are the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. These months they are to be saluted. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After speak to kill a person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which a brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find it in Numbers chapter 18 verse 21 and Malachi chapter 3 verse 8 to 10. Means 10 in Hebrew and is pronounced Ma'aishara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you give to the Treasury Department or teacher priest fund. Free will offering for a priest, not mandatory, whatever amount you would like to give. Upcoming
You know, I'm sure there's some comma there between or something. Hmm? Oh, so they forgot the comma. You can put it in.
Upcoming holy convocation. Memory of blowing of the trumpet. First day of the 7th month. First Thursday, September 17, 2020. This is found in Leviticus chapter 23, verse 24 to 25. Remind Akiam and Akiwatian to check on social media, such as I.S.U.P.K, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which include black boot, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf, with that we say a margin meter style. A courtesy salute to the teacher, a margin Shabbat, a margin, Barak, ya awa bashim, a margin Shabbat, ya awa shamar ilatan basham ya washai. What's our class this week?